thank you for your interest. I know that these are challenging times. It's, if you're playing the drinking game, I think that's one of the words to go with. Unprecedented times, challenging times. So my name is David Ellis. I am the VP of Sales and Marketing for Doubleknot. We are a hosted software platform that helps organizations operate more efficiently and effectively through visitor-facing technology, admissions, ticketing, membership, education, gift shop, and retail. All of the things that are visitor-facing. And as part of our service, we have the ability to handle timed admissions. So wanted to present a webinar just to go over what we can do to help organizations manage their capacity control, manage their visitor flow as the country looks to reopen. So obviously you guys being in the industry, working day to day and considering what needs to happen as you open up, don't really want to get too basic with this. I think there are some things that everybody kind of understands that we're looking at reasonable expectations, if you will, on what's going to happen moving forward. So from what we've heard from existing customers, what we've read the news and just monitoring the industry discussion boards, there are really three things that people are considering. The first is reduced capacity, whether that's 25, 50, 75% of the capacity that you may be opening depending on which phase you are in. So a limited amount of volume, essentially. The other thing, the ability to limit interactions between your staff and the visitors. So contactless arrival process, interactions, as some people come in, as they depart, enabling that through your visitation. And then finally, maybe to a lesser degree, the ability to track visitation. So some of the concerns that we've heard is the ability to handle contact tracing, which in most cases for visitor-facing organizations is going to be a little bit more stringent than what you guys need to do. And if you're not aware, contact tracing specifically talks to people who have been exposed to somebody with the virus and they have been around them for more than 30 minutes within 6 feet. So in that situation, people are notified that they've been in contact, and that is the official definition of contact tracing. So in a situation where somebody visits, you may or may not want to communicate that to people that have come to your venue, but Doubleknot does enable the collection of that data, who is at your venue in any specific day or time. So it may be something that you're interested in. So Doubleknot can handle, I forgot to mention this. So these three things, essentially, if you look at AAM, the three of the top 5 things that they talk about when reopening and things to consider, Doubleknot can help with. And these are really the key things that we're looking at. So how we can help, number one, capacity control. We can allow you the ability to set what capacity you have available within any type of window or time frame, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But if you're going to open in the morning for a few hours, close, allow a period of cleaning, and then reopen again later that day, you can control how many people, whether it's 25, 50, 75% of your overall capacity, can go in and book for that, whether that's online or in person. The second piece of this is the timed admission portion. And as I talked about a minute ago, doing the timed admission, we have the ability to schedule what's called units of booking. And it can be as small increments of every 15 minutes all the way up to a full day if you want it to. So the system natively gives you the ability to set how many people can come in and for what length of time they can book for. So you could say a group of 2 hours, a group of 4 hours. They come in, they experience the venue, the organization, the grounds, and then at the end of their time frame, you get everybody out, you clean the facility, and then let the next wave in. So that is typically what we're hearing from most organizations. And in the example that I'm going to show in a little bit, that's the example we're using is a morning shift, a quote unquote shift, and an afternoon shift. Oops. Third thing, simple and easy to use control over on sale. So this is really critical. I think when you look at Doubleknot versus other competition on the market today, when you turn things on, it is very possible that you may have to turn them off quickly. Maybe your local region, your municipality, your city, your state, the local government says, hey, we need to shut things down again. The ability to turn things on and off natively, the ability to change capacity. Maybe you have gotten up to 50%, but you need to drop back down to 25%. Doubleknot natively allows you to do that on the fly, even if you have people booked in those time slots. You can adjust capacity, you can adjust availability in real time. And if it comes to the situation where you have people booked, but you have to close down, we actually give you the ability to refund to a gift card rather than completely refund somebody. They can use that gift card to come back in and rebook later when you open again. So it keeps the money in-house. We talked earlier about contact tracing, but Doubleknot actually takes it a step further when it comes to information collection. We have heard from organizations that there may be a waiver process that needs to be signed. People need to self-select that, yes, I'm going to be wearing a mask, or I realize a mask is required, and you want to ask those questions when people book. Doubleknot has a configurable forms editor that actually allows you to ask any question, collect any type of answer, or share information with your customers in the booking process. You completely control that. You collect the answers, and it's immediately reportable, and you can require that they confirm that they agree to these terms and conditions when they go through that process. And I'll show an example of that in a little bit. So the ability to collect that information on the fly easily is important, as is contactless arrival. So Doubleknot natively gives people the ability to download tickets to print, so print at home tickets, also the ability to do digital tickets as well. So if they've got an Apple device, it goes to their iOS or Apple wallet. If they've got an Android device, it would go to their Google wallet. So when they arrive, they will scan the ticket. Your staff would scan the ticket or the barcode, regardless of what media it's presented in, whether it's a print home ticket or a digital ticket. The system will validate that ticket is valid for that time period. It will track that attendance. And later on the back end, you will be able to run reports and show who was there at that day and time. Oh, I kind of overshot my lot on that one. And the attendance tracking and reporting, so I got ahead of myself a little bit there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into a live system demo at this point, so you can actually see the system in action the way that we've set it up. I will give people the ability to ask questions on the back end, so if you have those, feel free to hold on to those, and we'll jump into the back end of the system to answer questions. So give me just 1 second, and I'm going to switch over to our demo environment. So what I've done is I've set up a demo environment inside City Art Museum. This is a fictional organization. Now, Doubleknot, as a hosted provider, gives you the ability to link off any of your events or items, or in this case, admission tickets, in a branded environment, looks and feels like your main website. And when somebody goes to the website to click to purchase tickets or reserve their time, it will take them from your website to Doubleknot's website. Again, completely branded to match your look and feel. The City Art Museum doesn't exist, but it's supposed to replicate what that environment looks like. So it's a seamless process from your website to Doubleknot, but we handle all of the hosting. The transactions all occur on our site. They're completely PCI compliant. It takes some of that compliance issue off of your staff. So what I've got set up here is a calendar of availability for non-members. We do have the ability through our membership management module to restrict availability to just members if you want to do that, or you can offer a portion of your capacity to members and a different portion of your capacity to non-members. However you want to structure that. Some people need revenue today, and so they want to generate more non-member revenue. Other people want to drive long-term revenue, so they are pushing people to buy memberships for the ability to book early before the general public. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. Now, what I've got set up here are admissions for non-members. In this case, we're on the 12th. Our morning session has already ended. We are into the afternoon session, so that's the only availability we have for the 12th. If we click into the 13th, you can see we've got options for morning or afternoon availability. I've got capacity control different for each one of those time slots. You have the ability to completely control that, as well as pricing. During the week, it's $10 for adults, $7.50 for kids. If you go to the weekend, we've got $12 and $9.50, so it's more expensive, a little bit of a dynamic pricing component there. And we've also changed the capacity on the morning to expand out to 800 spots available. Now you can see that remaining, we actually show how many slots are remaining. This is important for people who may not be interested in going somewhere that's completely sold out and could be crowded. So people can actively see how many people are booked for this. It doesn't show active attendance, but it shows the booking on the front end. Obviously, on the day of, you would have active attendance there. The other thing that may be of interest to note, if we go out to the 27th, you'll notice nothing's available. Try a different date. You can control capacity and availability, and we have said that we're only going to sell these tickets out a certain window of time, and then maybe that's your checkpoint for when the government's going to allow you to increase or decrease the phase of reopening that you have. So you might want to change your capacity. So put them out there for a week, 10 days, and adjust as needed as you go through this. So let's go ahead and go through this process. I'm going to stick with the 15th. Now, the first process that I'm going to go through is what we call an unnamed registration, and this is where you are simply collecting how many adults and how many kids are going to be registered for this event. So, or registered for admission here. So we can do 2 adults, 1 child. We click continue, and we're going to go ahead and see that. Enter into the cart. It's going to reserve that inventory. The pricing stays consistent at $20 for 2 adults, $7.50 for the kid, and then we're going to check out. Now, Doubleknot does have integrated donation appeals at checkout, so if you want to give people the opportunity to add on an additional donation to help your organization succeed, you can do that. Somebody could add on a $10, $15, $20 amount. You control the amounts that they can add on there, or you can give them the ability, I guess it's and, or you can give them the ability to do a custom donation amount where they plug in whatever they want. Now, natively, the system offers all major credit cards for payment processing. You can enable PayPal, as well as e-check or ACH, EFT payments, somebody using their bank account. We do have gift card options, as I mentioned before, as well as a loyalty card option. So somebody could earn points, and they could redeem those points for admissions if you want. And this is my demo environment, so you're never going to see a credit card exposed like that, but it's just cash from previous demos in here. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my information in here as the registrant. I do live in Nashville, so I'll let a y'all slip. I get it honest. And I'm going to plug in my email address here. So I did not require this customer to book and log into an account. I let them check it as a guest and didn't even give them the option. A couple of important things about Doubleknot. If you don't require somebody to log in, they plug in their same first name, last name, and email address as an existing record in the system. Doubleknot will append any records that already exist with this new sales information. So they're not logging into their account, but the system will aggregate all of their sales information natively. It's one way we prevent duplicate transactions or duplicate accounts in the database. So once I get here, I will click Make Payment. The system is going to go out and charge the card. We do have a bogus credit card processor set up, so we can do this in a demo environment. So it takes a little bit longer, but the system is going to go out and charge the card, and we'll present the customer with a receipt for what they purchased. A couple of things about the receipt. What you're looking at here is just a generic demo version. You can add logos. You can also add information to the receipt. So if you want to include a link to, arrival procedures and information about, where they need to park or anything along those lines, you can include that. That could be a link. You can also include a PDF attachment to the receipt that somebody's going to receive via email, which I'll show you here in just a second. So in this case, we've got printed home tickets turned on. We also have the ability to do Google Wallet here. So if you want to save a digital ticket, 2 adults, 1 kid, this done button, if they click that, you can also send that to a link, which is arrival procedures if you want. Now, via email, they'll get a receipt. Same thing, looks very similar to what they see on their screen, but the email will also have printed home tickets. This is the digital ticket option. And again, you can download that to your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet. We also include the ability to do print at home or digital membership cards as well. And if somebody does opt in for the additional donation, you can go ahead and send them a personalized acknowledgement letter as part of their email. It will be attached to the email receipt. They can open that up and it will say, thank you, Matt, for your $50 donation to, the City Art Museum. We're going to use this to reopen safely and, appreciate your contribution. So all that's already included. Now, on the day of the event, when they arrive, Doubleknot's got full cash register capabilities, so you can check in either at a full cash register using an iPad associated with a Bluetooth scanner, cash register, as well as a credit card receipt printer, or a receipt printer and a credit card device. We've also got mobile POS units as well, so if you want to use an iPad or a Windows Surface tablet, you could use that. Those also connect to a Bluetooth scanner. And when somebody arrives, we're actually going to log into the back end of the database. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to log in as an administrator. I will note that there are no limits to the number of users you can have with Doubleknot, and you can permission based on the role with the organization. So everybody's going to have access to this feature list. You can permission this administrator area to give people access to only what they need to see. All of the links that you see here on the right-hand side are just quick links. It's easy for me to jump to specifically to a camp link or, whatever other events that you have, rather than navigating through a calendar to get to an event. You can just post a link up there. Now, upon arrival, your staff are typically going to be logged into Sales Station, which is our app that we utilize for sales and check-ins. Now, I do not have a scanner associated with my Windows computer right now, so I'm going to search on an order. And if I click Search Orders and say, give me anybody that purchased within the last day, it's going to bring up that order that we just went through, which is the admission tickets. You can see the additional $50 donation. And from here, I can make edits to the order, or I can check somebody in and out. And when I click check in and out, it's going to bring up a list of everybody that was included, or every ticket that was included in that order. And I could check in an individual here, but maybe mom or dad are parking the car, so they're not coming in just yet. Or if the entire group's there, I can check everybody in. And at that point, once you've scanned the ticket, checked people in, they are in the building. I do want to clarify, if you scan a ticket, you don't have to go through that search order process. It just pulls the order up. You can check people in directly. I just don't have the scanner associated. Now, on the back end, from a reporting standpoint, let me jump out real quick. We're going to go to our feature list, then down here to our reports. And we're going to go over to facility reports, which is, we are using our facility module for this timed admission. And we're going to go in and select our facilities. We are doing a non-member admission, and I believe we did an afternoon session, but just today. So I'm going to select both of these. If I click continue and pull up payment and attendance attendee summary, for example, I can see everybody that has booked for the AM session on the weekday and the weekend, and then we'll actually pull up a list of all the attendees who booked, how much money was associated with that, how many people are coming. Doubleknot reports also give you the ability to track attendance against lists and things like that. Just in the interest of time, I'm not going to dive into that. I did want to show you one other process that we can go through. I'm going to log off again and go through another non-member admission sale, but this time I'm going to look at the afternoon. So you can see a named registration as well as a form. So if I go in and select, in this case, 2 adults, I won't do any children at this point, but 2 adults, I can go in here and say, David Ellis, and would you like to purchase a mask for your visit? So this is one of the examples of a configurable form that we can ask. This particular form gives you the option to add on cost if you want. So if somebody is going to arrive, there's a requirement for them to have a mask, and they don't already have one, you can give them the option to purchase one. You can give them the option, no, I already have my own, but I still would like to contribute. You could do an add-on donation there. And then we also, I'll put my spouse in here, Sutton. You'll notice email is optional in this case. You can make that required if you want, but it will say no, but we'll like to donate. We'll click continue, and then at an overall registration, level, we can add in additional questions as well, or information sharing. So this is a free form text field that you can insert waivers, you can ask questions, you can collect information, you can have a required option. So I agree to abide by all social distancing, follow all organizations' instructions, wear a mask, whatever you want to put in here, and you can require that they select this. This gives you a little bit of CYA on the back end when they arrive, and if they don't have a mask and they didn't purchase one, you can say, hey, this was in the process. We know that you had to do that. So you can see now we've got the afternoon. We know that David and Camille are coming, and they have said, no, we don't need a mask, but we are going to get an additional donation here. Total of $30. You may also notice that we've got an upsell here, enjoy the benefits of membership, join now. If enabled, you can have the system put on a conditional statement that says, if you are a member, you could save $20 on this transaction. And if you do that and you click into this and add a membership, let's do a family membership. This gift is for me. Doubleknot, just real quick, does enable gift memberships. If somebody wants to purchase a gift membership, you can collect that information as well. But we'll say continue. We're going to purchase a family membership. And because I've signed myself up before for the other one, I can go ahead and click David Ellis. And I'm going to add information because the only thing I put in there was my name. But it does retain information as you collect information throughout the sales process. Now, some of these items are optional in the other area, but for memberships, we definitely want to collect an email address. We definitely want to collect a phone. They have the option of signing up for newsletters. You can do donor listings. Again, these are completely configurable fields that you control. So once I click continue here, doesn't look like I get a discount for this particular event, but I've added my family membership. We do have the ability to do membership auto renew, so every year we will automatically charge them for their membership. Okay. So from here, I would click checkout, and I have a donation appeal upon checkout, and I'll say no thanks, and we're back to our payment screen, and it goes back through that receipt cycle. So essentially that's the process, whether it's member, non-member. The only difference for a member, you can force them to log in. When you force them to log in, if their membership is active and it has the ability to register, you can limit on the back end the membership. You can only sell tickets or make reservations to the membership if they have that level of membership. So I will open up things now. We've got about 8 minutes left, I think 7, 8 minutes left in the time that I had originally slated for this. So if anybody has any questions, there I believe is a question option. Yes, there is a question option in the GoToWebinar thing there. I'm happy to answer any questions, dive in deeper on the back end, or discuss any other aspects of the system if you're interested. We'll give that a minute or two. Let me clear back out here. Okay. Yes, so somebody asked about pricing. So Doubleknot, because we work with nonprofits, and we understand that you guys are in a situation where you guys have not had visitation, so we're trying to be sensitive to that fact. So there are typically 3 components of Doubleknot pricing. The first is an initial implementation, and that gives you all the training configuration set up. And if you choose to only use us for the timed admission portion of that, we are offering preferred pricing on that with a flat setup fee depending on the size of the organization. And I can speak with individual groups on what that is, but it's extremely affordable in that area. The second part is a monthly subscription. The monthly subscription, again, we're offering a discount, a 50% rate of what our normal pricing is, specifically for visitor-focused organizations, and that's through June 30th. The final component is credit card processing. Credit card processing is done at a blended rate of 2.75%, and depending on the level of service that you have at Doubleknot, there is a transaction fee. The important thing to note, and this is specifically for someone who asked this, if there is $0 on the transaction and somebody is just registering or reserving for $0, there is no transaction fee or credit card processing charge there. So you don't have any fees or transaction fees associated with that. You would still have to pay the monthly subscription for Doubleknot, but you wouldn't pay any transaction fees. So that makes it extremely affordable there. Somebody asked the questions, can you handle dynamic ticket pricing with different prices for different times of the same day? Yes. Any of the units of booking that you offer, whether it's a set number of hours, if you do 2 hours at this window and 2 hours at a later window, you can do a different price for each one of those. If you do a rolling window, somebody can book on the hour for every hour throughout the day, you can change prices there. What we don't do is dynamic pricing like the airlines where depending on the volume of transactions or people booked, we're going to bump up the dynamic pricing. Now, one of our customers, Indianapolis Zoo, has an integration with Diginex, a partner of ours, and we can explore that option if it's something you want real live dynamic pricing, and just throw that out there. Let's see, and I've got another question here about the interfaces. I'm struggling with the interface. Hold on one second. I'm trying to expand this a little bit. Oops. I'm not sure how to see this. Okay, who should we speak about the specific pricing? So that would be me, and I will share my contact information here in a second. Okay, and I think that's all the questions that have been asked. I apologize for the difficulty there. I'm trying to expand this. GoToMeetings window is not very, oh, here we go. It's pricing model. Okay, so I'm going to be your contact on pricing. I'll share that in just a second. And one other thing I wanted to mention before we moved on, Doubleknot, in addition to the timed admission, and I talked about this on the front end, this is everything that we can handle in a single integrated system. We do offer the memberships as a carved-out module, so if you don't need Doubleknot memberships, you can use everything else at a lower cost. The important thing to note is all of these things integrate directly with each other. So if you wanted to offer member pricing or discounts on tickets based on membership level, or you wanted to upsell an event, if somebody registers for something, you can give them the option to purchase additional items or events. You can do all of this through Doubleknot in real time from the same pool of inventory. So if you have questions, feel free to email me. My email is on the screen. That is my direct line. The other option, if you go to our website, doubleknot.com, and click on the Get a Demo button, there is a service that we use called Calendly that gives you the ability to book a meeting directly with me. So that's my calendar that you can go ahead and book some time. And I've got a 15-minute option, a 30-minute option, or a full 60-minute demo option. If you'd like to learn more, I'm more than willing to do a full demo. Happy to discuss pricing specific for your organization if you're interested. I will follow up after this with an email, a link to the recording on the video if you wanted to share this with anybody else within your organization. And with that, I think I'll wrap it up. I don't have any more questions. So again, I appreciate everybody's interest, and wish you all luck as you reopen. Hopefully everybody can do that safely. And we get back to what we want to do, which is providing value to our communities and educating our local residents. So thank you again. Appreciate the interest, and I hope to be in touch with you very soon.